Good,
album?
yeah, it is. It's my first album, so it's actually my first headlining gig as well, so...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, should be good.
Not to put any pressure on you, but it's a pretty big night, isn't it?
But I like being under pressure anyway, so hopefully it'll bring the best out of me.
Yeah, cool. You've been in this hip-hop game for about 8 years or so, according to your MySpace. How did it all happen for you in the first place?
That's actually old. It's been a bit longer than that now, so...
Yeah.
But I haven't been in the actual industry for that long, but I started about 10 years ago now when I was about 14.
Yep.
So, but I've actually been doing it properly and taking it seriously since I was about 16, 17. So for the first couple of years, it was just kind of developing skills and stuff like that.
I'm always pretty keen to see how MCs, especially from a place like Perth, get into it in the first place, because obviously the band scene is so huge over here that I wonder how people often get to that fork in the road and perhaps say, right, I'm going to follow this direction and go with the hip-hop scene.
Well, at first it wasn't really much. It was pretty divided when we first started coming up, because we were only 14, 15. Like I said, we're talking about 10 years ago now. There wasn't much of the scene wasn't as prominent as it is now. Like, we weren't hearing of much gigs and stuff like that. We were kind of confined to the walls of our room, just doing bedroom songs and recording on little computer mics, like really, standard stuff. And then we were just recording every single day, and then over time the scene just developed, and then we were signed to an independent record label when we were like 17.
Wow.
So, but we only stayed there for about a year and a half and left, and by the time we left, things started to develop. But even then when I first switched and started to come onto the scene and started from scratch again, there wasn't that much stuff going on.
Yeah.
There wasn't that many gigs going. At the moment, there's just a gig every weekend. It's great. So,
big time.
Yeah.
You're saying we a lot there. Have you got a group of guys that you still perform
No,
with?
when I was talking about the record label that I was signed to previously, I used to do stuff. It was like we weren't a group, but we did a lot of collaborating together and stuff for that.
As is the way with a lot of hip hop stuff.
Exactly, but it was a guy called Solitary, and I grew up with him, so I've known him for years. But he's the guy that I first started this with. But we kind of just not like we're still good mates, but we kind of just started doing our own individual solo thing along the way. So yeah.
So what about when you're like a young MC in Perth? How do you sort of make that transition from going to gigs and probably seeing a lot of international artists and stuff to actually putting together your own material? How was that a pretty difficult thing to do?
Well, at first it was there was kind of like SBX they're pretty well known. They were already pretty well known in Perth, and Optimus, who was he's from Downside. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yeah.
He does a lot with guys that are young and coming up. Like, he reaches out to a lot of guys and just puts them on as many gigs as he can, and he really tries to help keep it going. So he reached out to me when I think one of my friends showed him a song of mine, and then he had a good listen to it and reached out to me when he seen me at a gig, because I just used to pop up at the gigs handing out my mixtapes and stuff like that. So that's probably where the big thing for me was doing all the mixtapes. I pumped out heaps of mixtapes. I just used to record as much as I could and just pump the streets full of mixtapes.
Yeah.
And he's come along the way. He's come along my one that I put out, and he just started putting me onto more gigs. And then from there I got more offers, and then so it's been good.
Talking about your style, has it changed a lot since those early days?
Definitely.
Do you often look back at some of the stuff and think, what was I thinking back then?
What I was saying before, when I was signed to the label and then I left and had to kind of reinvent my whole style as an artist and kind of as a person as well, because when I was signed to the label, I used to rap with an American accent. So I used to have to kind of step into character to rap. And then I started finding out a lot more about Australian hip-hop. It was a lot more commercial and in your face, so I looked into it a lot more and got into like Lyrical Commission, Downside, even Draft back in the day, Pegs and stuff like that. And then it kind of just went from there. So I think that played a big part of it.
Being an Aussie MC, do you find you're always looking for Australian-type subject matter to rhyme about?
I try to steer away from that, because I feel like a lot of guys... like, that's not really my style. Like, do you know, and a lot of people really suit that, and that's their style, and they just... But that's not really like what I'm like. I'm not really your typical Aussie bloke. I don't really... Do you know what I mean? I do drink beer and stuff like that, but I'm not... Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to try and be something I'm not. I'm just me when I get on a song, so...
You're not going to take that Aussie thing to extremes.
I don't chase it, do you know what I mean? I'm just me on a song. If it comes out and I say something about Australia, then I do, but I don't go out of my way to say it to impress people, so they go, oh, he said this.
That man is so Aussie.
yeah. So I'm not out here trying to prove how Australian I am. At the end of the day, I just do me.
What sort of stuff do you like to rhyme about?
just everyday stuff. I'm motivated by everyday things that go on. I was thinking about this earlier. I used to be a lot more personal with my music, but then I started to realise that a lot of people can identify and relate to my stuff, but I started to realise it was more the stuff that wasn't so personal, because it was so detailed they couldn't relate to it more. If I was more roundabout about what I was talking about, they could kind of identify with what I was saying more.
Yeah, anyone could.
So it's the stuff that people deal with every day, so it's not just my personal stuff, it's more stuff that everybody can relate to.
I noticed as soon as you got into the studio, your hand automatically went to the pen that was on the desk there.
Yeah.
It looked quite comfortable. Are you quite a prolific sort of writer?
Well, it's not even that. It's like I do actually a lot of my writing on the keyboard.
Yeah.
On the computer.
There you go.
But I do a lot with the pen as well.
Yeah.
But this is me not being able to sit still.
I thought it was just some sort of habit of always having to write stuff down.
Nah, if it wasn't a pen in my hand, it would be my bottle of water or it would be something. So
cool. Well, your debut album, as we said, is called Isolation.
It is.
18 tracks on this one, which is a pretty good effort. A long time in the making, is this?
Yeah, it definitely is, and that's why there's 18 tracks on there. Yeah. I actually wanted to cut some off there. Me and Disaster sat down, and Daz was like, "Look, this is really long, dude. Especially for your first album, 18 tracks is a lot." And there's not any interludes or anything like that, so it's just 18. And but I just couldn't really figure out which ones I wanted to cut. Like I'd say, look, I'm not really as good a rapper on that one, but I want to keep that because I like what I talk about on that one, or that means a lot to me, that track, or do you know what I mean? So some of the tracks on there are like 2.5, nearly 3 years old, and then some aren't so old at all. Some are more newer, which are like the collaborations and stuff like that.
Yeah, often find that with the debut album though, like it's sort of the culmination of a few years of work, and it's that's why I think people are so proud of it, because it's everything that they've done up to that point. Sometimes.
I think you learn more with the process as well. So my next album obviously is going to be a lot quicker to make because I learned a lot making this one. Just the whole process. There's a lot behind the scenes that people don't see. It's not so easy to just bang it all together and chuck an album out there. So I learned a lot with this one that I won't do with the next one, and it'll make the process a lot quicker as well. So
you've got a few friends on this one as well. Disaster Draft. Optimus as well. So
Disaster Draft, Optimus, I think, and Creed Birch are the only rappers on there. But I've got a couple of singers on there as well. A friend of mine, Sam Roberts, Porcelain. John Barrett is a friend of mine. He plays a couple of live instruments on there too. So,
what about taking this stuff onto the stage? What sort of things can people expect from your live show?
I try to, like I said before, there's a lot of deep stuff on there that's pretty heartfelt and slower and emotional. I try to steer away from doing that stuff live because it kind of kills the vibe.
Can do sometimes.
You don't really want everyone in the crowd being a bit sad and thinking about life. You want them just kind of coming out to party. So I try to keep it pretty driving. I try to keep all the moving beats going, so it kind of you stay moving and stay involved.
Good sort of party atmosphere.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a good contrast to the two on that album, though. There's a bit of both.
Yeah. Sounds very cool. And as we said, Isolation is being launched this evening at the Rosemount. You got some supports there as well? I
am. I've got Complete from the Psych Ward crew, who's a young up-and-comer, and he's very promising, so make sure you get down early to catch his set. After him is Down South crew, who are two guys that moved up to Perth from Albany recently. Just brought a mixtape out called Ill Recognise Ill, so you should come down and get that. And then after them is Creed Birch, who's like my partner in rhyme. He's who I do a lot of my stuff with these days. He produced a couple of tracks on that album, and he's on there too, so he'll be getting up for my set as well. Excellent. And people can pick up copies of the album on... I will. I've actually got limited copies because I've nearly sold the whole first run. I've got to do a repress, but what I'm going to do is I've got about 20, nearly 30 copies down there, so if we sell all them and need to do more, we'll just take some pre-orders and stuff like that. Get in quick. And what time's everything kicking off tonight? Doors are at 8, but and we got Hunter from Syllabolics. He's doing a DJ set. So he's doing the first hour on the decks, just spinning tracks and stuff like that, and he's doing like the 10 minutes between everybody's set as well. So come down early for a drink. Sounds like it's going to be lots of fun. Kicking off at 8 p.m. at the Rosemount, you can catch Bitter Belief and Friends for the Isolation album launch. Going to take a listen to a track from the album. This is track number 5. It's called Letter to Melody. Can you intro this one for us? Yeah, this one is the one that we were just talking about, featuring Creed Birch and Porcelain. The beat was kind of done in Creed's head, but he kind of voiced it to John Barrett, who's a friend of ours, who's really good with live instruments, and we all just kind of pieced the beat together. And it's a letter that we've written to music, but talking like it's our friend. So it's kind of like a metaphor
That's awesome. Kind of I think we can all relate to that.
Yeah, so it's kind of talking to music like it's our friend, and it's called Letter to Melody.
Excellent. I've been chatting with Bitter Belief. Thanks for being my partner in rhyme for the past few minutes.
Good. No worries.
This is lifted off the album Isolation, launched this evening.
We've been walking down the same old line for years, trying to find that satisfied feeling, trying to climb through a flat white ceiling, so many tears spilled trying to find that freedom. You and I spent late nights waiting, day and night training for one day making a name together, so it stays forever. When everything's set and seems like we've made it better, I'll never forget dreams that have made me everything I see and breathe until I'm grey and weathered and with a dreams mean nothing, make an effort with every reason. Had to evade descend and it's amazing. Mind the form major lit for the taking, isolated ones waiting. Eye for an eye, one time for the mind, rising new highs. So when the rest are made in every breath, I take extra taste of what's next on the list with a gift that gave me with a fist. Racing, take me higher. I see the light, it shines bright, and now that I found the life, it's a plan to kick drum. It's the sound of the crowd with fist pumping. It's that buzz that I found in you. It's that love that I found in you. You again, you were with me, moving forward each walk that lifts me, moving towards the new thoughts and big dreams. You're the chorus, you're the 16, you're before and always in history. Morning light to nightfall, always a whispering. They say nobody is witness your place, but I know with eyes closed I can picture you playing again.
Always by my side, I'll never have to hide what I feel inside. With you I share my all, my everything. You're the one I can trust in. When life's darkness knocks me down, you let me be. You let me be.
And I remember the day that we first met. I remember the conversation, and I remember the words that you first said. I was lost in amazement, I was locked in a cage, but you leant through the bars and you gave me the keys. Like, here, I think it's time you take these. No strings attached, it's time to break free. Who would have thought I could fly sky high with the headlights on that would guide my sight? And the times I cried, I had you right there just to dry my eyes. No matter what we did, we were side by side. It's good cause I need you around just to write my rhymes. If you leave then my heart might die, cause I've known you for over half of my life. And you know the things that we've done, the man I've become, the love that we've seen. And you know the times that we shared, that you were right there, the places I've been. You're my mentor, and you're my teacher, and you're my older bro. You showed me tough love and brought me up from just a puppy. You taught me to hold my own, and now I see what you want me to see, what you want me to know, what you want me to keep, what you want me to show, what you want me to be. And in times of need, when things got deep, it was never too far to meet you. And you would save me and take me away, and you played me a tune for my heart to beat to.
You were there, always by my side. I'll never have to hide what I feel inside. With you I share my all, my everything. You're the one I can trust in. When life's darkness knocks me down, you let me be. You let me be.
thought I could fly sky high with the headlights on that would guide my style. And the times I cried, I had you right there just to dry my eyes. No matter what we did, we were side by side. It's good cause I need you around just to write my rhymes. If you leave then my heart might die, cause I've known you for over half of my life. And you know the things that we've done, the man I've become, the love that we've seen. And you know the times that we shared, that you were right there, the places I've been. You're my mentor, and you're my teacher, and you're my older bro. You showed me tough love and brought me up from just a pup, and you taught me to hold my own. And now I see what you want me to see, what you want me to know, what you want me to keep, what you want me to show, what you want me to be. And in times of need, when things got deep, it was never too far to meet you. And you would save me and take me away, and you played me a tune for my heart to beat to.
You were there.